Hello, it's Diane, and I'm back over at my stamping table. I'll just show you what I finished after I turned off the camera. I did the sewing here, and I taped this image from Christie Art Designs to this striped paper, and then sewed the paper down and made it a little pocket so I could tuck this tag in. This is from Ephemera's Vintage Garden Gentleman and Scholars Kit, which is the paper that I'm using, the digital paper. We saw this collage that I did on the back. I did add a tab to this image, and I stamped on the back, but I stamped upside down. That's okay. And I added a piece of this strip of dyed muslin, which I got at Hobby Lobby on clearance, so it was already cut and it was already this color. So I just stitched that along the edge there. I did sew this on as a tuck spot. And these are both from the kit. This is Christie Art Design. Maybe that's all I did. Oh, this is the other thing I did. I made this pocket. And this paper is from this sheet, which I love. It's from the Paper Studios Denim and Pearls paper. And I thought that was really good for this journal. So this is from Christie Art Designs, and I just stitched it on here with another piece of that little muslin and some trim, because I wanted to use this envelope on this page, but I didn't want to glue it down because it's patterned on both sides. So I just folded the envelope together and glued it and inserted this card and created this tuck spot for it. So now what I want to do is, I was just looking on Pinterest after I had my lunch and saw this really cool idea for a tuck spot. So I'm going to take the idea, which was the two tags like this, and put them together and make them into a tuck spot, and then I'll just decorate them the way I want to. All I did was cut 2-inch strips of cardstock in 2 different colors, and then cut them. One is 2 1/4 and one is 2.5 inches, and then cut some reinforcements with this. Now, does anybody else have this? I love this. I love being able to punch those reinforcements, but you can't see where you're putting it, so you can't really get things close together because you don't really know where's that hole and where's the edge of the paper. And once you punch it, where does the little center hole go? The little scrap is inside there somewhere, so it's going to fill up. So if anybody knows anything about the proper way to use this and maybe empty it out, please let me know. So anyway, I did make my reinforcements. I already inked around the edges of these with Vintage Photo. I think I'll just put those on last because I'm going to stamp on them first. So I have an assortment of images here that I can use for stamping. And I'm going to use my StazOn brown for this background here. This will be layered on top. You can do it either way. I think I'm going to put this one on top. And you can also do it so that you can put it on the side, so just know which way you're going to orient it before you stamp it and decorate it. I want to put this little gentleman on this piece. I started making one of these off camera, and this hole was off centered, but I don't really care. This one was worse. But I was stamping on it, and I stamped this, and the stamp part, postage stamp, ended up going right over his face. But it was upside down, so it goes this way. And I will use a lighter color brown anyway. That's better. And this is the suede, soft suede from Stampin' Up. I love this color of brown. What else do I want to put there? And you can add embellishments too. Have cutouts to add on, 3D embellishments or whatever. I don't know if I'll add anything else to that. I think I like it just the way it is. So I'm going to add my reinforcements. I'm thinking of the possibilities with this too. Different colors of tags with, you know, for your different themes of journals. It would be great with a floral journal. To use floral images on it. Lacy background or whatever. It would be fun. And I thought it would be great to use this vintage parcel post twine that I got at the flea market yesterday to tie through the little reinforcement holes there. I cut this one pretty short. I love that vintage twine. I want these to be short, but I don't need to cut them so short that it's hard to tie them. I can trim them. These rolls have 40 yards, I think. Is that right? It's 120 feet. Yeah. It's 120 feet, so that would be 40 yards. So that's a lot on there. But I want them to be pretty short. Like that. And I think I'll do stitching. I'm going to stitch them together and then stitch them on, and they can be a tuck spot. I might want something there. I just don't know what. I think I might like it if this was a little taller too, if there was more of a height difference between them, but I'm going to leave this one just the way it is, height-wise. I'll have to look for an embellishment, see if I can find an embellishment to put there. So I'm going to just go ahead and make a couple more. My battery light is flashing. I had replaced it earlier today, but it's an older battery, so it doesn't last as long, I think. Okay, so I'm just going to continue on. So if the battery dies, my video cuts off, you'll know why. I don't know how often I have to say that to you, but it's pretty often. This is that Stampin' Up thing that doesn't want to stick to the block. But somebody commented on my video yesterday that, oh, see, it just fell right off. that you can use chapstick to stick it on. I don't happen to have any chapstick. I have the kind that's in the squeeze tube, but not the balm, you know, the chapstick stuff. So I would like to try that, see how effective that is. Somebody also asked me yesterday how do I know what colors to put where on the tags, and my answer was I don't know. I don't have a formula. I just go by what I think looks good. Looking for, oh, here it is. It's upside down. I'm going to use this gentleman. I think I'll stamp him in black. This one looks black. It's that timber brown. Stays on. I could ink up these reinforcements. So since I have 2 spools of this, 80 yards altogether, I will be cutting some and putting it in my shop. I did work on ironing laces and fabrics last night. It's tedious to iron the lace, but I ironed some and cut some. And I cut some more today that didn't need to be ironed while I was waiting for my hamburger to cook. So I am working on the vintage laces and fabrics. So again, I will sew that together. Now, I'm going to trim the bottom off of this, just so there's more of a height difference. And I think I'll do this one this way. Battery's still flashing, but I'm still going. Just ink up where I cut off. I want that in a different color. This is a Stampin' Up set, and this one I did put Aleene's Tack It Over and Over on. I was going to put this down here, but then I realized I'd have the two dark ones right next to each other. So I think I'll just add this. I think it's... Can't read it really. I thought it was a dictionary. It might be, but you can't really read it. But anyway, I'm going to add that down there. There. Okay, I'm going to add my reinforcements here and sew things together and change my battery, and I'll be back. Bye.